Hey guys, so today I'm going to be teaching you how to sew a basic zipper and a concealed zipper. If you want to find out more, please don't forget to like and subscribe and ring the bell for further videos. So for today you'll need a zipper of the size that you choose, but I'm going to be using a 20 centimeter zip with metal teeth. You can choose any color fabric that you have lying around, scraps that will measure the size of your zip. You'll need two of these and another two pieces for the concealed zip that we'll be practicing. Today is a practice video, so we'll be learning a really nice skill that you can use for makeup bags. If you're doing a nice little dress, a concealed zip really looks so nice. And you can take this in your sewing journey with you because it really helps to learn how to do this for further projects. For today's project, you'll be using a zipper foot. The foot should come with your sewing machine. You're going to remove your basic sewing foot and attach this one by sliding it under. You get two sides to the zipper foot depending on which side you'll be sewing. If I'm sewing down this side, I'll attach it to this side. If I'm sewing down the other side of the zipper, I'll attach it to this side. For today's project, I've chosen this really beautiful cotton fabric. I'm going to be using my zipper foot, my zip with metal teeth, and I have measured the fabric by placing my zip along the fabric piece and cutting it once it's placed like that. Once we've completed our project, we'll have something that looks like this. Step 1. I'm going to take my first piece of fabric, lie it facing up on the table. I'm going to take my zip, I'm going to flip it upside down and place it like this. I'm then going to pin it so that I can sew it. I'm pinning it on this side because I'll be sewing on this side. Step 2. I've now pinned my zip in place. I've placed my zipper foot on the left hand side. I'm going to now tack the zip in place so nothing slips while you're sewing. This is really helpful when you are beginning. So you just sew a few stitches over here and a few stitches at the bottom just to secure your zip nicely so you don't have any problems. I'm now going to pull my zip down to open it all the way to the bottom. With the zip on the left hand side and using my zipper foot as a guide, I'm going to sew all the way down, remembering to back tack at the top. Once I get to the zipper teeth, I'm going to have to close my zipper. I've removed my pins to do this so nothing gets in the way. Then continuing from where I left off, I'm going to go back and sew all the way to the bottom of my zip. Going to back tack. Now the first part of your zip is sewn. If you want a wider zip, you can sew further along so you see more of the zipper. I'm now going to attach the second piece. Step 3. I'm going to take my other piece of fabric, lay it flat, facing up on the table. I'm going to take the piece that I've just sewn, lay it opposite, making sure that my fabric lines up nicely because it has a pattern. I'm then going to take this piece that I've sewn with the zip, flip it over like that so that the two correct sides are facing each other. I'm then going to pin everything in place. Whilst I'm pinning, I'm going to make sure that the zip lines up with this piece of fabric. I'm going to be pinning now on the side that I sewed. All the way along so that nothing slips. Step 4. I've left my zipper foot on the same side. I'm going to tack at the top and the bottom like we did last time, just to hold everything in place. You don't have to do this, but if you are beginning, it is really, really good because then nothing will slip. I'm now going to begin sewing using the same guideline. Going all the way down. Remove my pins and finish sewing the bottom. Again, remembering to back tack at the end just to secure the stitch in place. Once I've completed sewing on both sides, you should have something that looks like this, that opens and closes, and the zip is even on both sides. Normally when I'm making a zipper purse, I would iron this flat and do a top stitch. But for today's practice, we're basically just doing a zip to practice our skills. You now have a basic zipper. Stage 2. We are now going to practice a concealed zip. Again, I'm going to be using my 20 centimeter zipper. I've taken the same size pieces of fabric. What you now need to do is attach the two pieces of fabric together so that you create a seam. So you're going to sew them together using the zip as a guide so that you can make sure that it fits in nicely in between. Mine was 2 centimeters. Once you've completed this, you'll iron your seam open so that you have something that looks like this. You'll be sewing on the opposite side with your seam like that. Placing your zipper facing down. We're going to pin it in place and begin sewing on the one side. As you can see, I've now pinned the zip in place, making sure that the top of the zip goes right to the top and that I've left a small gap at the bottom. We are going to tack all 4 sides and sew all the way around. Let's begin. I've now changed my zipper foot to the right hand side, making sure that everything's pinned in place. I'm going to start on the left hand side all the way around, making sure to just start below the top of the zip. Going to back tack at the top and go all the way around. Removing my pins. Once I've reached the bottom, I'm now going to pivot. I'm going to lift my sewing foot, turn it around like that, lower it, sew across, lift my sewing foot once again, pivot, and now go all the way to the top. Removing the pins. I'm going to stop in the exact same spot as the opposite side, missing the top of the zip. I'm going to back tack. Using my thread cutter, you have now attached the zip. I've now taken my 2 pieces facing the right side up using my seam ripper. I'm going to take it in the middle and picking out the little thread slowly to open up the zip. I'm going to do this all the way to the top. Don't do it all at once because you might rip your fabric. This might take a bit of time, but you're literally just going to remove the thread slowly, going all the way up. Once I've unpicked, I'm going to remove all the ugly threads in between just to neaten it up. And then you'll see that your zip opens and closes neatly and it's concealed. I'm going to open up my zip, flip it to the opposite side and sew the top bits that we missed over here. Leaving my zipper foot on the same side, I'm going to start at the top, back tack, continue to where I finished. I'm going to change my foot to the left hand side and do the same thing on the opposite side, back tacking at the top and going until the spot where I stopped. I now have a beautifully concealed zip. Okay guys, so after today's lesson, we now have a really nice basic zipper and a concealed zip. How fun was that? So I hope you enjoyed that and you're able to take something with today's lesson, and I'll see you guys soon.